And we'll move into the man of the hour, the head coach of the Murray State Racers, Mitch Stewart, here from 2018 OVC Football Media Day in Nashville. Coach, you just came out of a meeting, and we're going to be doing a lot of talking about the Racers today.
Good.
This is when, you know, the football season is here, is when OVC Football Media Day happens.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of that date that you mark on the calendar and you wait for. And it's always fun because you get to talk about your guys. You get to talk about your team. And as me and Quincy and Jensen rode down today, you know, I always relish that time, that 2-hour drive that we have coming down here, because it's a chance to, because you pick those guys individually. You pick who's going to come down here and represent your team, and I always relish that time because you get to get in a car with them and you go over some of these questions that they send you. And it's not me telling them the answers, it's me listening to them and saying, how do you guys want to answer this question? How do you want this this team to be talked about? How do you want people to view this team? And I always love this day and that process of taking these guys down here and giving them a chance to do that.
And how do you want this team to be known as this season unfolds? It's really a blank canvas for you.
Yeah, it really is, and it's man, it's been such a fun group, and we've had a lot of changes for the good in our preseasons, and the way we did spring, and now having so many guys on campus during the summer. We have 76 guys that went through summer workouts, and just having those guys around. And the biggest thing that we talked about in the car riding down here, because I asked Jensen, I asked Quincy the same thing. I said, guys, what do you want people to see when they come out here and they watch this team? What do you want people to see? And they both said the same thing, and the word tight just kept coming up, and they were talking about how close they feel with this group. And Jensen was funny. He said, you know, I remember my first year, it was very segmented by position. I was with the wide receivers, and we kind of did things, and the D-line kind of did things. And he said, man, it's a smorgasbord. You go to the pool, and everybody's just kind of there, you know, and hanging out. And I think ultimately that's how these guys want people to view them, is they're a 95 men piece of armor that can't be penetrated, and they're really, really working hard for that.
That's awesome. And you know, the first game against SIU will be here before we know it. What's the first day that everybody will report?
August 1.
So that's the Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday next week.
Yep.
And you get them all here. How do you feel like, you said 76 over the summer? How do you feel like it's going to be complemented when the other ones that weren't here for the summer, the newcomers, what kind of an impact are they going to make? Yeah,
well, the good thing is the guys who will come, the guys who will come in for fall camp and haven't been here in summer, some of them are new, some of them are old, you know, and then some of them are some of the walk-ons and kind of pieces that you get. But the for the most part, the nucleus, the guys that we're going to be quote-unquote counting on, and there's always a surprise here or there, or somebody that just we couldn't get into school that fast. But I think the best thing that we've got going right now, and we worked hard with this in the spring. The big thing with the spring, we call it our get ready phase. That's when we're getting ready. And the big thing that we try to do in the spring is obviously we want to try to get better fundamentally at football, but we really want to try to build our culture. And we made a huge emphasis on that this year, of building our team culture, so that when we get into summer, into our what we call transitional phase, where you're transitioning all of these new people into the team with you, that culture has to be tight. It has to be strong, because you've got to get those guys on board fast. You don't have very long. You've got at most these 76, they've got 2 months to do that. These new guys that come August 1, they've got
weeks,
a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then you go to school. And so the stronger that you can make that culture, the faster that you can get those guys on board. And I think, again, credit to our guys and our players. They've done a tremendous job of that.
Well, I've always been fascinated by just the dynamic of college football, in that you're managing about 100 kids.
Yeah.
That's 100 families, your entire coaching staff. As a head coach of a college football team, you're kind of a CEO of a small business, really, because there are so many moving parts. And you throw in the injuries and and just everything, academics, and it's a busy time for anybody that's in college football.
Yeah, and I tell you, Neil Bradley always asked me, my first coach's show, he's always done this to me. He's always asked me, okay, well, what did you learn? What do you know now that you didn't know last year? And he does that every time.
Well, Neil's a wise man.
And usually it's, usually you kind of, you skate around, you tell some jokes, what do you skate around? And the biggest thing that I've learned now going into the fourth year as head coach is like you talked about, you've got, call it 100 players, and then you've got your training staff and your strength staff and your administrative staff and all these people that you work with, and some of which you're in charge of. And I used to always think it was my task to handle all of those people, to answer all the questions, to have my not my hand over it, because I do, but I thought that I was directly in charge with them. And then, I've been studying a lot with the guys down at Fort Campbell, and I just pick their minds all the time, pick their brains all the time. And Colonel Oliver told me, he said, look here, man, he said, it's a whole lot easier to get your message across to 100 people if you'll get it across to 10 people and give those 10 people 10 people. And then so on down the line, he said, your message will, A, be a lot clearer, a lot more clear, and B, it's a lot easier on you. And I've really tried to do that this year, and it's like I was talking about in the car, instead of me going in and reading these questions to Quincy and Fagans and going, well, I think we should say this, and this is what I want you to say. It was more, what do you guys want to say?
Yep.
What do you guys want? How do you feel? And I've really tried to take that approach this year, and I think the kids have really enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed it, and the coaches have enjoyed it.
This past school year, all of us totally honored. Murray State was awarded the Institutional Sportsmanship Award. Yeah. Murray State football's won it twice in a row, 3 times out of the past 5 maybe?
Yeah.
I know that makes you very proud. We just had our meeting with Beth Bush, the OVC commissioner. She met with all the sports information directors last night. And, we talked a lot about sportsmanship across all the sports in the OVC. I know you're very proud of that.
Yeah, I am. And we just, obviously, the OVC is kind of known for that, and we're going to continue to be known for that. We just had a meeting about it as well, and that was one of the things that Beth said is we're going to make or continue to make a tremendous push on the sportsmanship side of it. And what I really like about the Sportsmanship Award is, and again, I talked about this with the players on the car ride down here. We got in there was a wreck, so that we got in some traffic, so we had a lot of time to talk today. But the sportsmanship thing, what it boils down to is we all have a great respect for the game of football and what goes into it at everybody's institutions, because everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's working hard. It doesn't matter if they were preseason picked 1 or preseason picked 8. It doesn't matter. Everybody's working for the same goals, and there's a level of what am I trying to say? There's a level of respect for everybody, for all their players, for all the coaches. We've got a tremendous group of head coaches and assistant coaches in this conference, and a tremendous group of athletes on every team. Everybody's got good players, and if you talk to them, everybody's got good kids, or else they wouldn't be on their team. And I think that's kind of what that sportsmanship thing entails. It's not, hey, buddy, how are you? And this guy's always really nice to me. It's more so the respect and admiration that everybody in the conference has for the job that everybody else is doing, that each one of us are doing. Yeah, and that goes a long way on Saturday afternoon when there's a lot of hitting going on, and it's everybody wants to win. Yeah. And by no means does good sportsmanship ever diminish your desire to win the game. That's why you're out there, is to win the game. And I think even more so, I think that's the reason why sportsmanship is so important in the game of football, is because it's a physical, nasty sport. Yep. But it can't be that way all the time. There's a respect for what these players are going through, what these coaches are asking of them, and I think that just that really encourages that sportsmanship part of it. Well, we went over our schedule here at the start. I know we're looking forward to the opener and then the family weekend and homecoming.
let's have a great season of football, Coach, great home season, and let's have a lot of fun with our fans.
That sounds like a plan.
I could talk to you for 2 hours, Coach. I love speaking with you, but have a great media day, and we'll be seeing you, of course, on Monday nights. You guys have the radio show with Neil Bradley, Voice of the Racers at the Big Apple. We'll be starting it up very soon, too. So thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.